Have you ever noticed your best ideas seem to strike while you're walking, showering, even in the bathroom? But when you're sitting at your desk, forcing yourself to think, your mind draws a blank? This isn't a coincidence. Zen has long whispered the secret to creativity. First, be still, then observe. In Zen, stopping means quieting the restless mind, letting go of goals and attachments, and returning to inner stillness. Observing follows, a deeper intuitive seeing that arises naturally after the mind settles. It's not about trying to think, it's about truly seeing. Modern neuroscience echoes this ancient wisdom. When we meditate, space out, or become fully present, our brain doesn't shut down. It shifts into a more efficient mode of integration. Research shows that creativity often emerges from the dynamic interplay between the default mode network, DMN, active during daydreaming and idea generation, and the central executive network, CEN, engaged when we focus, plan, and refine ideas. When relaxed and open, the DMN sparks divergent thoughts and inspiration. When focused and structured, the CEN helps shape and execute those ideas. Other regions like the insula and limbic system also support intuitive decision-making and sudden insights. Zen practices like Jiguan, stillness and observation, help us release inner noise and rigid thinking, so we can fluidly shift between these brain modes, unlocking deeper creativity and insight. In short, creativity doesn't come when you force it. It arrives when you stop trying. Let go to let flow. Zen speaks of mental fasting, the practice of temporarily letting go of attachments to goals, judgments, and desires. It's not about passivity, it's about clearing the mental noise. When the mind stops chasing rewards and overanalyzing, it regains clarity. Harvard research shows when people stop obsessing over outcomes, their creativity can increase by over 40%. Why? Because creativity doesn't thrive under pressure. It flows best in states of freedom and spacious awareness, like a master placing a move in go, or an artist receiving a sudden vision. True insight doesn't arrive through step-by-step logic. It appears all at once from a deeper place. Zen calls this nonlinear knowing. Modern science might call it distributed cognition. But the key is the same: let go, and the real ideas will come. Steve Jobs once famously said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." Beyond curiosity, he was hinting at the power of an undefined state of mind. During iPad development, Jobs often turned to meditation to empty his mind. He ultimately rejected the industry-standard keyboard plus stylus model, choosing instead the intuitive simplicity of the human finger. This was not deduction, it was vision, born of stillness and deep intuition. Creativity as a superposition. Quantum physics offers a beautiful parallel: the observer effect. The more you try to measure a particle's state, the more you disrupt it. Creativity is the same. The more you try to control or force it, the more it eludes you. The best ideas emerge not from effort, but from a clear mind that gently reflects what's already present. Don't rush to do something. Zen reminds us, first be still, then observe. Stillness clears emotions and mental noise. Observation allows you to re-examine the landscape, spot patterns, and refine your direction. Right direction leads to effective action. A restless mind blocks clarity. A wrong path wastes effort. From Jobs' meditation, to Zen's Jiguan, to psychology's goal release, to neuroscience's DMN activation, they all point to the same truth. Real inspiration arises the moment you're willing to let go. So if you're feeling stuck, lost, or burned out, pause, still the mind, then observe. Clearing your inner world is the first step to reawakening your creative power. You don't need to chase trends or force your voice. True breakthroughs come not from technique, but from a clear and grounded heart. Zen wisdom helps you become not just a better creator, but a calmer, freer, and more powerful version of yourself. And finally, If you enjoy this blend of Zen wisdom and modern creativity, subscribe to our channel. We'll continue exploring the deep connections between ancient insights and the science of the mind. May these ideas empower your journey. Insight is only the beginning. One day it clicks. This is it. I finally understand what my YouTube audience wants. You feel inspired, aligned, and ready, as if a third eye has suddenly opened. But Zen gently reminds us, awakening is the start, not the end. In Zen, this is known as practice after enlightenment, Wuho Qi Shu. The moment of insight is powerful, but it's only a doorway. What matters is what you do next, how you refine, deepen, and embody that insight over time. Now let's talk about the real third eye, the one you need as a creator. You've probably heard popular sayings about the third eye: increased intuition, sensitivity to energy, vivid dreams, even tingling between the eyebrows. These ideas float widely in Western media, often tied to mysticism or psychic abilities. But let's be clear, modern neuroscience does not support these claims. There's no evidence that the pineal gland gives you psychic powers. No scientific basis confirms that these symptoms reflect any measurable brain awakening. So what is the third eye, really? In Zen, the third eye isn't magical. It's a metaphor for awakened perception, the ability to see clearly through the illusions of ego, identity, and mental noise. It's the mind that is, present, grounded, not swayed by fear, attachment, or distraction. And this level of clarity can be trained. Through mindfulness, meditation, and disciplined attention, you develop what might be called a scientific third eye, a sharpened mental faculty that lets you observe without bias, create without clinging, and lead your content with presence and authenticity. Practical level. Build the path with discipline. Understanding what works is just the first step. The real transformation comes when you shape it into habit. Through consistency, creative discipline, and aligned action. Insight is the spark. Discipline is the fire. From here, you're no longer wandering. You're walking your true path, step by step, with presence and purpose. Inner mind level, from ego to essence. Real Zen practice isn't just about having great ideas. It's about clearing away false identities, seeing beyond the ego, and returning to your natural essence. This requires time, stillness, and sincere awareness. But the reward is profound. Creative freedom that's no longer tied to fear, pressure, or the need for external validation. Zen points to a transformation that goes deeper than insight. Through meditation and presence, you gradually enter a state of inner quiet, not empty, but vividly clear. This clarity arises when the monkey mind settles and the surface noise fades. Ancient Indian sages describe this ultimate state as sahaja samadhi, a spontaneous, effortless union with your true self in the greater cosmos. On the outside, you may appear unchanged, but within, the mind becomes transparent, still, and radically awake. You respond not from memory or overthinking, but from what Zen calls your original nature. As the Buddha said about Shariputra's wisdom, like an empty drum, strike it hard, it roars, tap it lightly, it echoes, leave it be, and it rests. This is the spontaneous intelligence of a quiet mind, ready, precise, and unshaken. The ongoing journey. Whether you're operating at the surface or diving into the depths, one truth remains. Your third eye has opened, but now the real journey begins. Don't stop at insight. Build it, deepen it, refine it. This is how creativity becomes a way of being, not just a practice, but a presence. In a world driven by deadlines, KPIs, and constant execution, have you ever wondered, why do some teams burn out even when they're doing everything right? Or why your strategy looks perfect on paper, but still feels disconnected? What if the missing piece isn't in your workflow or even your strategy, but in something deeper, within. Introducing the 3 dimensions of true management, a mind-centered model for sustainable leadership and creative execution. Let's explore what this model is really about. Dimension 1, operational level, the surface layer. This is where most management begins. Tasks, timelines, tools, SOPs, efficiency, execution, metrics. It's essential, but by itself, it's like a well-oiled machine with no soul. It moves but doesn't inspire. Dimension 2, strategic level, the structural layer. Here we talk about the bigger picture. Long-term goals, positioning, competitive advantage. Think OKRs, strategy decks, resource plans. But even the best strategies fall flat when the people behind them feel unclear, disconnected, or misaligned. That's why there's a third dimension. Dimension 3, spiritual or inner mind level. The foundational layer. This is the most often ignored yet most powerful layer. It focuses on something deeper. Inner clarity, emotional alignment, purpose, presence. It's not fluff, it's the foundation. Because when a leader knows why they act, and a team shares trust, awareness, and shared intention, strategy becomes natural. Execution flows effortlessly. This level goes beyond mindset and strategy. It touches the source of clarity, vision, and resilience, the inner self. A powerful real-world example comes from Japan's legendary business figure, Konosuke Matsushita, often called the God of Management. At the age of 95, he said in an interview, "There are countless people more talented than me in the world. One key reason I succeeded was my understanding of Zen." Japanese Zen scholars have summarized his philosophy as, "Without understanding Zen, life feels flat. Without grasping Zen insight, great achievements remain out of reach." From a small workshop to a global enterprise, Panasonic's growth was deeply rooted in Zen principles, a testament to how spiritual insight can lay the foundation for long-term success. Why this model matters. Burnout, creative block, team friction. Most of these don't stem from bad plans. They stem from internal misalignment, ego tension, or a lack of deep connection to purpose. This model reconnects the dots between structure and soul, between tasks and truth. This framework is influenced by Eastern philosophy, especially the Zen teaching of Ji Guan. First, still the mind, then see clearly. In modern terms, pause, realign, then act. Cultural relevance. There's a growing appreciation for Zen and mindfulness within Western creative and business circles. Many leading companies, including major tech firms, now incorporate mindfulness and meditation into employee development programs. Visionaries like Steve Jobs, a dedicated student of Zen, credited these practices for sharpening his focus, emotional clarity, and even influencing product design and creative insight. For today's creators, especially YouTubers, Zen offers not just calm, but a transformative way to see, think, and create. What happens when all 3 dimensions align? You get leadership with integrity, strategy with soul, execution with energy. You get a sustainable path to performance, not just productivity. Model variance. You may also hear this model referred to as the 3D mindful management model, heart strategy execution, the Zen-infused management trinity, but the essence remains the same. True management begins, not with tools, but with the mind and heart behind them. If you're leading a team, building a brand, or creating from the heart, don't just manage, align from within. The 3 dimensions of true management, where clarity leads and execution follows.